Hey everyone, Megan aka Anarchia here. First, I just wanted to let you all know that everything's fine here in Dallas. We've received some heavy rain, but not a whole lot of flooding. We have, however, had some problems with gasoline. The media came out and announced that a major pipeline had been shut down and that there will be gasoline shortages. And of course, that created panic. I think the biggest reason why there was a lot of chaos surrounding the gas shortages was because the media made a big deal about it, and so everyone decided to get gas at the same time. And there are many gas stations throughout the city that are out of gas, and I guess a lot of people didn't have spare gas. They're, not prepared. Media, especially mainstream media, thrives on people being at each other's throats, and it's not like media has ever instigated tension before, right? So in this video, I just want to briefly discuss some of the lessons and takeaways that we can all reflect upon in regards to Hurricane Harvey. I think these lessons are especially important to reflect upon sooner than later because apparently there's another hurricane coming towards the US, Hurricane Irma. Last time I checked, no one knows which direction it's actually going to go. Some say it may go towards the Gulf and hit the same area that Hurricane Harvey did, and some say that it may hit Florida. We don't know yet. So in this video, I especially want to elucidate the reasons why individualism and liberty will and has more potential to triumph over central planning and collectivist thinking in regards to natural disaster and self-sufficiency. So there's some controversy going around about the mayor of Houston's decision to tell people to remain where they are instead of evacuate. And my stance on that is it really shouldn't matter what the mayor says. If you're an individualist and if you take responsibility for your own life and for the life of your kids or whoever you're taking care of, you should be able to make that decision for yourself. And ultimately, the government does not have the right to tell you that you have to evacuate or that you have to stay put. Every individual is different. We're all different in our capabilities and our needs. Some of us are preppers. Some of us haven't really spent a lot of time prepping for natural disasters. So depending on the individual, it may make more sense for someone to stay. It may make more sense for someone to evacuate. Another thing I think that is important for people to realize in regards to central planning and revolving your life around what government officials say you should and shouldn't do. You're ultimately the expert of your own life. One person or one group of people, they're incapable of being experts at everything. And this is the beauty of the free market and liberty, is that people are allowed to become experts at certain things and people are allowed to delegate. On a positive note, in regards to Hurricane Harvey, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's noticed this, and it didn't take Hurricane Harvey to illustrate this, our country does not appear to be as racially divided as mainstream media claims it is. Of all the rescue videos that I've watched, of all the personal accounts I've heard, no one's volunteered to go down there to help and has specifically said, I will only help this kind of person. I will only help white people, I will only help black people, I will only help men, I will only help women. I haven't heard that. No one said that. It turns out that Texas is not just a state with a bunch of Nazis. In fact, I've lived here for about a year now, and I've visited multiple times because I have family here, and personally, I've never met a Nazi in my life. I'm not saying they don't exist, but it's not an epidemic the way social justice warriors and mainstream media wants to make it out to be. They need some sort of conflict so that they can push their agenda. Also, I think it's important to mention, according to some of the posts I've seen from, I'll just say left-leaning individuals, their impression was that all of Texas is mostly white. Whites are actually a minority in Houston, so I find it interesting, and I don't know if this was someone just trying to pretend to be a leftist. Some leftists really are this stupid though. Them getting excited that their hurricane was hitting a red state. So happens that it's hitting Houston, which whites are a minority, and I think it's either the third or fourth biggest city in the country. And usually big cities tend to be more liberal. I would say Houston would probably be more of like, probably one of the most liberal areas in Texas. The most liberal is Austin, but honestly that doesn't even matter. I have a separate video coming on my criticism of feminism, but the feminist commentary of Hurricane Harvey is absolutely horrible. I'm sure many of you have seen feminists ranting about toxic masculinity, you know, raving about photos of men carrying women and children out of the water. It's ridiculous, you know. When someone makes a statement like that, I want to ask, well, what would you prefer they do? Do nothing? I mean, it's almost like they want to choreograph everything. It shouldn't matter the gender, it shouldn't matter the race of the person that's helping. Everyone's an individual, and a big thing with people who seem to promote central planning and collectivist thinking, they assume that if government didn't force people to help others, if they didn't force people to contribute money through taxation, if they didn't create these programs, if they didn't force these programs into existence, that no one would help anyone. And it's ridiculous. I mean, look at how many people volunteered to help during Hurricane Harvey. Usually I don't like to talk too much about emotions and touchy-feely stuff, but so I'll go ahead and explain why this doesn't surprise me at a biological / evolutionary level. You know, I think empathy and the desire to help other human beings is natural and it's genetic. Why? Because we want our species to survive. And it's through volunteer work and voluntary interaction that brings people together. That's what brings people together, choosing to help one another, choosing to be involved in your community. Government and government programs, they remove individual accountability in the community. They coerce people to pay taxes. You know, people aren't choosing where their money is going. A lot of people make the argument, well, you vote, and whoever you vote in will determine where your money goes. Well, what if you didn't vote? What if the person you voted for didn't get in? Well, your money isn't going where you want it to go, is it? If you're looking for a good charity to help the individuals affected by Hurricane Harvey, I would suggest doing your own research. Especially do research on the overhead each charity has. I can tell you with government, the overhead is enormous. And the reason why, in my opinion, it's obvious. Government does not have to compete. They basically force themselves into existence, and they don't have the motive to perform. So, and a lot of people are complacent, and this is why I think these government programs, it removes the individual being involved in their community, because individuals then become complacent and say, oh, well, I'm having my tax money is apparently going towards welfare and helping people, so my money's already going towards it, supposedly. Because government apparently doesn't have to be as accountable. They're not motivated to be efficient because they don't have to compete. Do some research, see which charities are the most efficient with their money. And this is what I think the difference is between those who just want to feel good and those who want to help. If you really want to help, you'll do the research and find out how these charities operate and what the overhead is and all of that. So you know that your money's actually going towards the people affected by Hurricane Harvey. If you just want to feel good, you can just donate your money to any charity advertised on TV. It's kind of like a social justice warrior strategy, in my opinion. It's virtue signaling. You say you helped, but do you really know if you did? So in summary, the takeaway from this video that I hope those of you who are watching will get is that as an individual, you are accountable for your own safety, and you are the expert of your own life. Central planning is not going to save you in a natural disaster. Government officials will not always give you the best advice. I truly believe if that more people embrace individualism and liberty, naturally people will become more accountable for their decisions and for their actions, and they will rely more on their own research and their own assessments. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I also have a Facebook page if you want to follow me on that. The name is also Anarchia Miller. I also have an Instagram. Thank you, everyone, and please stay safe and be prepared. See you all soon.